How's it going, guys? Day two, bench session. And even though I said bench, we actually start things off with the Pendlay row. And reason being is because as I was filming for my bench press, the memory of my phone ran out. So unfortunately, it just completely stopped filming whilst I was warming up to my top set of 140 kilos, to which I actually failed. So to be fair, my phone saved me, showing you guys a failed rep. So that's good. Now, we move on to the Pendlay row. This was my top set of 110 kilos for 10 reps. Wasn't too bad. I've done this before in the past. I definitely felt a lot more fatigued today when I was doing that session, or rather in this session, because today I'm not training. Um, so I had to do a bit of a rest pause. And another thing that I do as well is that with the Pendlays, because I'm trying to be as strict as possible, I aim to just pull my elbows as high as I can, like rather than focusing on pulling the bar towards me, because that's where I start to actually compromise form. So after a quick water break, then I move on to the back off sets. And again, elaborating on what I was saying in my previous video when it comes to doing back off sets, like still work within a weight that's relatively challenging, but kind of take advantage of the fact that you got a little bit lighter so you can really reinforce form. As you can see here, like I'm still trying to stay as strict as possible, not trying to use as much momentum from the legs, like pulling from the ground first, and then, oh sorry, pushing the legs through the ground to kind of get that weight off the ground, and then pull towards my stomach. I'm aiming to literally just pull from the ground, so I'm keeping my hips up as high as possible. Um, and this felt a bit more better. I still feel like I could have stayed a lot more stricter, but as I mentioned before, I was definitely a little bit more fatigued in this session than usual. After that bench press, it wasn't like I was completely tired, but I definitely felt like I'd done something before my rows, as opposed to feeling a little bit more fresher. But is what it is. We move, and I always say, like, sometimes these sessions they count just as much towards progression as they do as rather than pondering about how the session went. Then we go into the accessories, good old lat pull downs. I really feel like working the back, when it comes to powerlifting, is so important to just really build that strong back, which will help you build a really strong base to then kind of create as much tension as you can, especially where like you see the follow through a lot more when it comes to squats, bench press, and deadlifts. Then we've got some single arm presses, front raises, and then we finish things off with the incline bicep curl. So more on the way, day 3 and day 4 to come. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Like, share, and subscribe.